What's up, guys? This is Joe Symonette with NW Home Experts team right here in Olympia, Washington. And if this is your first time to our channel and you're thinking about moving to Olympia, Washington, also eating, sleeping, playing, and working, and also want to know the top 5 pros and cons about living in Olympia, Washington, subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you're notified every time we drop a new video about living in Olympia, Washington. Honestly, we got so many people that are reaching out to us that are relocating to Olympia, Washington, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about relocating or moving or visiting Olympia, Washington, feel free to reach out to us, give us a phone call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and we got your back to moving to Olympia, Washington. All right, guys, so now let's get into the top 5 pros and cons to living in Olympia, Washington. So I have lived here for over 30 years myself, so I have seen our town grow as more people come to it. And so this is a perspective from myself who has lived here for a long time, and just some of the things I like that I see are pros and cons here from living here for quite a while. So the first thing that I would like to say that would be the number 1 pro is you still do have a small town, a living feel here. So no, we are not a town of 10,000 or 5,000 people, but we are not a big metroplex either. I think roughly Olympia right now has around 150,000 residents, all in our whole county, Thurston County. I think we're right around 300 to 350,000. So you still have that small town living feel where if you're involved in the community, which people are very friendly here and inviting, you get to know people really quick, and they get to know who you are. And if you don't know the person, they know somebody you know. It's the commuting time here. So if you're going somewhere to a sporting event, you got to get your kids to a sports game, entertainment, or dining, it's usually not going to take you super long. Yes, we do have traffic on the freeway sometimes, but there's back roads and stuff that you can take. So the commute time around town is not horrible. So the second thing on my list of the pros would be how close you are in proximity to the mountain and also the ocean. So to go to the ocean, it takes about 2 hours from Olympia. We like to go there sometimes in the winter time, also in the summertime. Sometimes if it gets really hot here, interior, like let's say like 90 degrees, that's a perfect day to go out in the ocean, where it's probably going to be closer to 70, 75 degrees. Also, if you love snow sports, I love snow sports. If you snowboard, or if you ski, or if you like taking your kids tubing, those type of things, or just taking the kids up to the pass to play in the snow, we have Crystal Mountain, which is the most popular, which is about an hour away. And then we also have White Pass, which I prefer to take my kids for tubing because it's not as crowded, which is about 2 hours away. So number 3 would be the abundance of waterfront and lakefront. So since we are on the Puget Sound and where Olympia is located, we have waterfront all around us from the Puget Sound. So you have all these great marinas that are around here, from Zittles Marina, Swantown Marina, West Bay Marina, where if you love boating, I love boating, it's something I love to do, then you can moor your boats there, or you can launch your boats. So there's plenty of water activities here, also from kayaking to wakeboarding to swimming. So the kids have lots to do, and also we have tons of lakes as well around here. So if you love water sports, especially in the summertime like we do and our family does, then this is going to be a great place for that. So the number 4 thing would be parks and just outdoors activities here as well. So we have an abundance of parks around here. We have tons of trees around here. So that's really the Northwest feel that you're going to see, is tons of trees, tons of parks, lots of trails. So if you like to go hiking, also lots of rivers too. So if you like to do fishing as well, that's an activity that you can do up here. But it's really just the abundance of the natural parks and the natural resources that we have up here that adds to some of our beauty up here in Olympia, Washington. And so the next thing, and the number 5 thing, would be we're still very close, and we're kind of in the middle of 2 major cities. So Seattle is about 60 miles north of us, or about an hour away, and Portland is about 2 hours south of us. So if you still like to go to the big city, you like to go to football games, basketball games, or you want to catch some concerts of whoever whoever your preferred entertainer is here in town, then you can go do that because you're still close enough where, you know, it's not going to take you 4 or 5 hours to actually get there. So you can go to the city, you can enjoy some shopping, some dining, some entertainment, and you can come back. So those would be the top 5 pros that I have for living in Olympia, Washington. Now let's talk about the cons, and I'm going to keep this real. So the number 1 con would probably be the weather. If you are somebody that likes sunshine 24/7, Olympia, Washington is probably not going to be for you, and that's just me keeping it real. We do get about 50 inches of rainfall a year. We do not get downpours of rain very often. It does happen, but usually it's going to be more of a drizzle and overcast. And so really the rainy season is going to start in October, and then it can go on through May or June. So what we like to do as a family is we like to get some sunshine in the middle of winter. So we typically are going around February. We're going to go and get some sun, go to California, Arizona, wherever you name it, for a week or 2, just to kind of break up and get that vitamin D that we need. So the second con that I would say, and this is not just for living in Olympia, Washington, but this would also be for just living kind of in the Seattle metro area. We only have I-5 as our major freeway. And so we've had many instances up here where flooding or accidents, major accidents happen. And since that's the major freeway, we don't have any other major freeways. If you are commuting up north, it can cause some problems, or if you're commuting down south to Portland. So this is just something you want to be aware of. We have one freeway system, I-5. Now, do we have other break-offs? Yes, we do, especially if you're going to Seattle. You can go to 512, which would take you to 167, which you could kind of go around if I-5 did have a major accident. But I-5 is the major freeway, so that's one thing that you want to be aware of. So traffic does get congested if you are going specifically up to the Seattle area. So the number 3 thing would be home prices. Home prices have gone up substantially in the last 2 years here. And so we're sitting at a median home price right here in Olympia of around $515,000. So affordability, it is more expensive to live over here because we also have one of the major military bases, and I work with a lot of military clients, JBLM, about 15-minute north of us, depending on where our military clients are coming from. Sometimes they get sticker shock, I'm not gonna lie, because it is a lot more expensive to live up here than it is, say, if you're coming from a Georgia or Texas or Tennessee, any of those type of areas over there. So home prices are higher in this area. We're not as high as Seattle. We're not an average of $1 million, but $515,000 is still not super cheap. So number 4, if you have younger kids, this is one thing that you're going to want to be aware of is the daycares around here. Most of the daycares have waiting lists. If you are like us, when we were trying to get our kids into daycare and all of that type of stuff, you have to get on a waiting list. So that's something that if you're relocating over here, you are going to want to get on a waiting list and do that ahead of time, maybe before you relocate over here, so your kids have daycare if they're younger and they're not able to go to elementary school yet. So the number 5 con would be the homelessness issue that we've dealt with for the last few years here in the Olympia area. So especially during COVID, obviously people go through rough times, and so we had an uptick in homelessness here in the Olympia area. So downtown, specifically in Olympia, there was just a lot more homeless issues around the downtown area and also the Capitol Lake area. Luckily, the city of Olympia has been able to find some resolutions to kind of assist. It's not perfect, and I'm being 100% transparent. Every area has certain issues they have to deal with, and this is one thing that we've had to deal with here in Olympia. And I'm not being political on this either, because we've also done drives to help as far as for clothes and for foods for homeless and people in need. So this is just something that you do need to be aware of when you're moving here. So again, I want to just keep it 100% real with you. So that would be the number 5 con. Thank you so much for watching my video, the top 5 pros and cons for living in Olympia. But again, in order to find that perfect area that you want to live in or that home that you want to go see, you got to reach out to us. Shoot us a phone call, send us a text, send us an email. Get a hold of us, however, you got to get a hold of us, and we got your back when it comes to moving to Olympia. Until the next video, I'll catch you later.